Hello, everyone. We're bringing today's voting session on the budget for education and economic development to order. We're here with our trusty analyst, Sarah.
Yes, you have two documents in front of you. You have the decision document, the white package, and you have the additional pages in the yellow document. And we're just going to have the analysts each come up and do their own.
I'm going to start in the white decision document, the thick one, on page 5.
Page 5. Okay.
This is the Maryland Stadium Authority.
There you go.
Yeah. On page 5, the Maryland Stadium Authority, the recommendation by DLS was to concur. The governor's allowance, the agency concurred, and the first house adopted.
Move to concur with the Senate.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it.
On page 37 for
37.
sorry.
Yep.
Okay. On page 37 for the Division of Early Childhood under MSDE, DLS recommended to adopt committee narrative requesting that MSDE submit a report on the plans for a childcare scholarship waiting list. The agency concurred and Senate adopted.
Move to concur with the Senate.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nays. The ayes have it.
On pages 38 and 39, DLS recommended adopting committee narrative requesting that MSDE submit childcare scholarship program quarterly reports. The agency concurred and the Senate adopted.
Move to concur with the Senate.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Ayes have it.
On the yellow packet, on page 8, there is an additional request that restricts general funds until a report on the factors preventing private and public providers from participating in publicly funded pre-kindergarten programs is submitted.
Move to adopt the budget amendment.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it.
I'll turn to the Maryland Department of Labor on page 12 of the white packet. The first item is that DLS recommended reducing funding by $4 million, some of that for the Talent Innovation Program and some from the Employment Advancement Right Now program. The Senate rejected that.
Move to reject Senate, adopt DLS.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it.
Item 2, DLS recommended deleting funding for the electronic licensing modernization project that were included in the allowance in error, and the agency concurred and the Senate adopted.
Move to concur with the Senate.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, nays. The ayes have it.
On page 13, spilling onto 14 of the white packet, the Senate adopted narrative requesting a study on advancing skills-based hiring.
Move to concur with the Senate.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it.
And on page 14 and 15, the Senate adopted narrative creating a prison to honest jobs work group, but I do have a modification to that for your consideration on the yellow packet on pages 2 and 3. This narrative would modify the Senate's narrative, changing the work group to a study and adding consultation with the Maryland Higher Education Commission.
Move to adopt the modified language.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it.
Thank you.
We're starting on page 3. This is the Interagency Commission on School Construction. So the DLS recommendation was to concur with the governor's allowance. The Senate rejected that. They had an additional action that's on page 4. And this is intent language for the school safety grant program about studying procuring artificial intelligence technologies that identify guns in and around school property, and they adopted.
So on the first page, number 1, we concur with the Senate. Move to concur.
Right.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it. On the second point, with additional, the additional language, we are moving to reject the Senate.
Right.
All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it.
Then we're turning to page 16. This is MSDE headquarters budget. The first item is a report on accounting practices. The agency concurred and the Senate adopted.
Move to concur with the Senate.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it.
The second action on page 16, the DLS recommendation was a report on state education agency federal stimulus funds. The agency concurred and the Senate adopted.
Move to concur.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it.
Turning to page 17, item number 3, DLS recommended a report on Maryland Leads Program. The agency concurred and the Senate adopted.
Move to concur.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it.
On page 18, items 4, 5, and 6 for your consideration should be considered together. The first action is to reduce general funds to the Maryland Center for School Safety for the School Resource Officer Grant. That is related to item number 5, which is adding funds, special funds to backfill $3 million for that purpose. And then number 6 is cutting $3 million in special funds for a new emergency preparedness grant. And
Move to-
the agency disagreed and the Senate adopted.
Thank you. Move to concur with the Senate.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it.
And then for your consideration on page 19 in the white packet, this is item number 1, additional first house action for information on and a report on type 1 diabetes. The Senate adopted that action.
Move to concur.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it.
And then on page 20, this is also an additional first house action for a work group on non-certificated education support professionals, but this item has a modification for your consideration on page 4 of the yellow packet. And this item then changes this work group to a study and adds additional reporting requirements.
Move the modified language.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Ayes have it.
And then turning to page 5 in your yellow packet, this is an additional action for a feasibility study for the State School for the Arts.
Madam Chair, and I think you asked to change this to remove the name of the School for the Arts, have the Baltimore City School for the Arts be in consultation, and MSDE to also study whether the School for the Arts should be in Prince George's County or Baltimore City. And MSDE should consult with a school for the Baltimore City School for the Arts and a public official from an art school that offers professional certifications as part of the curriculum. You can do that orally if you would like to do that.
I'd like to move to adopt this language.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it.
All right, then turning to page 21, back in your yellow packet. The first action on page 21 is restricting $500,000 for a report on free and reduced price meal enrollment, and the agency concurred and the Senate adopted.
Wait, which page are we on?
We are on
Okay.
page 21.
Okay, perfect. Move to concur. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it.
And then the bottom of page 22, the second action was restriction of $50,000 for Somerset County Public Schools to turn in a report. The agency concurred, however, the reports have been turned in, so the Senate rejected that item.
Concur with the Senate. Move to concur.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it.
Turning to page 23, item number 3, this was a report on non-public placement program. The agency concurred. The Senate modified this action. If you turn to page 24, you can see that modification. It was just in the first sentence, just interested in the program, and the Senate adopted.
Move to concur.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. All opposed, nay. The ayes have it.
And then on page 24, item number 4, this is a DLS recommendation for a status update on the autism waiver program. The agency concurred and the Senate adopted.
Move to concur.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. All opposed, nay. The ayes have it.
Then on page 25, item number 5, DLS recommended a status update on the P-TECH program. The agency concurred and the Senate adopted.
Move to concur with the Senate. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it.
All right, and then moving to page 27, DLS, this is item number 6, DLS recommended a status update on MCAP. The agency concurred. However, the Senate modified this action. So if you turn to pages 28 and 29, the Senate included a $100,000 restriction and added to the report. There's a modification to this action, however, on page 7 of your yellow packet. This includes the reporting requirements, but strikes the restriction.
I move to adopt the modified language.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it.
Then we're moving to page 30 in your white packet. This is item number 7. This is for a report on LEA federal stimulus fund expenditures. The agency concurred and the Senate adopted.
Move to concur.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. All opposed, nay. The ayes have it.
And then on page 31, this is an additional first house action. Item number 1 restricts $250,000 for Baltimore City Public Schools until they execute an MOU, and the Senate adopted.
Move to reject the Senate.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it.
Moving to page 32, this is under the MSD funding for educational organizations. All these items in this budget code restore language from the fiscal 2024 budget, and the first three items are on the aid to non-public schools program. The first item modifies the distribution of funding for the program. The agency concurred and the Senate adopted.
Move to concur.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. All opposed, nay. The ayes have it.
Item number 2 at the bottom of page 32 is language to asking non-public schools to submit a student handbook. The agency disagreed, but the Senate adopted.
Move to concur.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. All opposed, nay. The ayes have it.
Turning to page 33, item number 3, this is language for non-discrimination policies for the program. The agency concurred and the Senate adopted.
Move to concur.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. All opposed, nay. The ayes have it.
And then on page 34, item number 4 for the Boost program, this has additional language for 700,000 restriction for I'm sorry, not a restriction, but funding for special education students, and then additional language for reporting requirement. And the agency concurred and the Senate adopted.
Move to concur.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Any opposed, nay. The ayes have it.
Now we're turning to page 40 in your white packet. This is the Maryland State Library Agency. DLS recommended concurring with the governor's allowance. The agency concurred and the Senate adopted.
Move to concur.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it.
Turning to page 41 in your white packet, this is the Accountability and Implementation Board. Item 1 is a report restricting funds for different concerns regarding their current timetable, and the agency concurred and the Senate adopted.
Move to concur.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it.
And then we're moving to page 70 in your white packet. These are actions for the Maryland School for the Deaf. The first action at the top of page 70 restricts $100,000 for them to submit a report on their audit, and the agency concurred and the Senate adopted.
Move to concur.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it.
And then at the bottom of page 70, item 2 is just a report on kindergarten readiness assessment. The agency concurred and the Senate adopted.
Move to concur.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it.
Thank you.
Turning to page 43, we have Morgan State University. DLS recommended concurring with the governor's allowance. The agency concurred, the Senate adopted, but I have additional items for your consideration on page 9 of the yellow packet. The first is a request for community narrative about financial well-being coach quarterly reports.
Move to adopt.
Second.
All in favor say aye. All opposed, nay. The ayes have it.
The second is on page 10. It is a request for community narrative for report on East North Avenue development.
Move to adopt.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it.
Back to the white packet on page 46, we have Bowie State University. The recommendation was to see the University System of Maryland overview for system-wide recommendations. The agency concurred and the Senate adopted.
We're 46. Okay.
Page
it's-
46.
I couldn't hear.
Sorry.
It's okay. Concur with the Senate. Move to concur.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it.
Page 47 is Coppin State University. It's the same recommendation. The agency concurred and the Senate adopted.
Move to concur.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it.
On page 50, we have University of Maryland Global Campus. It's the same recommendation. The agency concurred and the Senate adopted.
Move to concur.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it.
On page 57, we have aid to community colleges. DLS recommended a report on developmental education at community colleges. The agency concurred and the Senate adopted.
Move to concur.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it.
On page 58, we have additional first house action is a report for tuition waivers and supplemental services at community colleges. The Senate adopted.
Move to concur.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. All opposed, nay. The ayes have it.
In the yellow packet, we have an additional action related to CADE, but it's within the Department of Legislative Services on page 1. It's for a study on the CADE funding formula.
Move to adopt.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it.
Back to the white packet on page 64, we have higher education. The first was restricting funds until the report was submitted. The agency disagreed. They submitted the report. After the analysis was written, the Senate rejected.
Move to concur.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it.
The second is a report for instructional faculty workload. The agency concurred and the Senate adopted.
Move to concur.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. All opposed, nay. The ayes have it.
The third is an additional first house action on page 66, which is a report on calculation of graduate credit hour full-time equivalent students. The Senate adopted.
Move to concur.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it.
On page 67, we have Baltimore City Community College. It's again the item requesting to withhold funds until a report is submitted. They disagreed and the Senate rejected.
Move to concur.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it.
And on page 68 is the recommendation for a report on enrollment in the Merit Scholars Program. The agency concurred in part. They had already submitted the 2022-23 information. There's a modification below on on the next page of 69 with that part removed and the Senate adopted.
Move to concur.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. All opposed, nay. The ayes have it.
Thank you.
If you'll turn back to page 6, I'll go over the West North Avenue Development Authority. DLS recommended restricting 2.5 million of the agency's funding for grants pending the submission of a report with its comprehensive plan and grants manual, and the agency disagreed. The Senate modified this language as shown on page 7 to restrict only $250,000 pending the report.
Move to concur.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it.
On page 8, DLS recommended reducing funding for grants by 2.5 million. The agency disagreed with that recommendation and the Senate rejected it.
Move to reject the Senate and adopt DLS.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. All opposed, nay. The ayes have it.
Turning now to page 73, the Department of Commerce. DLS recommended increasing the budgeted turnover rate to the same level as fiscal 2024 and reducing the total appropriation by $130,185 to account for the adjustment. The agency disagreed with the recommendation and the Senate adopted it.
Move to concur.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it.
The second item on page 73 is a technical amendment that DLS recommended to contingent language in the budget bill. The agency concurred and the Senate adopted.
Move to concur.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. All opposed, nay. The ayes have it.
Turning to page 74, the Senate adopted language restricting $500,000 in the preservation of cultural arts program to grants to certain organizations. And I have a modification to this language for your review. It's on page 16 of your yellow packet. This modified language would restrict an additional $400,000 in this program to grants to certain organizations.
Move to adopt the modified language.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it.
Okay, turning to page 75 and 76, Medco, the Senate adopted narrative requesting a report on equitable access to SCIFs. And there is also a modification to this language for your review, which would request additional information in the report. That is on page 15 of your yellow packet.
These are two separate. Oh, I forgot we already did the Medco. I just want to make sure I didn't miss that. So on page 76. Yeah, we actually, did you want to reference the page 18 information?
We have not yet. This is on a study for barriers to accessing SCIFs within Medco.
Move to adopt the modified. All those in favor say aye. All opposed, nay. The ayes have it.
TEDCO on page 77 of the white packet, DLS recommended concurring with the governor's allowance. The agency concurred and the Senate adopted. However, on page 18 of the yellow packet, there's an additional page for your consideration. This one would request a report on companies that TEDCO has invested in over the past 5 years and the outcomes of those investments.
Move to adopt the modified language.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, nay. The ayes have it.
Thank you.
On page 9, the State Lottery and Gaming Control Agency, DLS requested for the agency to concur with the governor's allowance. The agency concurs and the Senate rejected. The Senate is recommending on page 10 for the agency to submit monthly reporting on sports wagering.
Move to concur with the Senate.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it.
Also on page 10, number 2, the Senate is requesting for the agency to submit a report on problem gambling with a collaboration with the Maryland Center of Excellence on Problem Gambling and the Maryland Department of Health.
Move to concur.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it.
On page 44, the Maryland Public Broadcasting Commission, DLS requests for the agency to concur with the governor's allowance. The agency disagreed and the Senate adopted.
Move to concur.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it.
On page 59, the Maryland Higher Education Commission Student Financial Assistance, DLS requested for the agency to submit a report on the impact of credit completion requirement on financial aid awards. The agency concurred and the Senate modified this, going to page 61 and 62. The Senate is recommending to restrict $100,000 in funds for the agency to submit the report on impact of credit completion requirement on financial aid awards.
Move to concur. All those in favor say aye. All opposed, nay. The ayes have it.
On page 59 and 60, DLS requested for the agency to submit a report on post-secondary outcomes for next generation scholars students. The agency concurred and the Senate adopted.
Move to concur.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it.
On page 62, the Senate recommended to restrict $50,000 in funds from the agency for the agency to submit a report on the evaluation of the website of the Student Financial Assistance website and how to apply for financial aid.
Move to reject.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it.
On page 72, the Maryland African American Museum Corporation, DLS requested for the agency to concur with the governor's allowance. The agency concurs and the Senate adopted.
Move to concur.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Thank you.
Okay, we're going to move to the very front of the document to page 1 for Historic St. Mary's Commission. The recommendation was a report on the implementation of the audit recommendations. The Senate rejected this, and if you look on page 2, the Senate added language restricting funds until the report is submitted.
Move to concur.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it.
Okay, moving to page 45. And this is the University System of Maryland overview, and is to concur with governor allowance. And the agency concurred and the Senate adopted.
Move to concur.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it.
I have an additional page for your consideration. It's page 11. And this is for the University of Maryland College Park to provide reports on financial well-being coach every quarter.
Move to adopt.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it.
Okay, back to your package on page 48 for the University of Baltimore. This is the system-wide overview for recommendations. The agency concurred, the Senate adopted.
Move to concur.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
On page,
I'll-
oh,
oh,
sorry.
All those
Um,
opposed, nay. Ayes have it.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Page 49 for Salisbury is the same recommendation and the Senate concurred.
Move to concur.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it.
So on page 51, 52, and 53 for UMBC, seats in the system office, it's the same recommendation. And the Senate adopted them.
Move to concur with the Senate on all.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it.
Okay, turning to page 54. For Maryland Higher Education Commission, the recommendation was to restrict funds pending a report on corrective actions related to the latest fiscal audit. The agency concurred in part, the Senate adopted.
Move to concur.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it.
On page 55, the second recommendation is annual narrative requesting a report on financial aid, and the Senate adopted.
Move to concur.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it.
On page 56, The third recommendation is annual narrative requesting a report on the progress towards 55% completion goal. The agency concurred and the Senate adopted.
Move to concur. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it.
I have some additional pages for you for MHEC to consider in your yellow package. Pages 12, 13, and 14. These all restrict funds until MHEC pending reports from MHEC on the status of implementing the work group's recommendation regarding program approval process.
Move to adopt the language. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it.
Madam Chair, I just want to, before, the next step is to move to adopt the full committee report or subcommittee report. But before we do that, I just want to remind members of the public that the committee will be considering all the BRFA actions in full committee tomorrow. And with that.
So don't want to be overly sentimental, but at this point, I want to thank you for your help. So we just have but one thing to do. Is there a motion to move this budget? Is there a second? All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Thank you so much.